Hello and welcome back to another coaching session from leadershipmentor.com. In our time together this week, I want to share with you what I call contagious enthusiasm. So, as we enter into the fall, this is a pretty common thing where you see somebody who comes in, they start their workday, and you notice they're not feeling well. They sneeze or they're coughing, and basically what happens over the next several days and weeks is that virus begins to be shared or spread throughout your team. And that's kind of how I want you to think about what I'm going to talk about today. And that is another kind of a symptom or illness is where you have somebody on your team or multiple people on your team who are very unhappy with what they're doing, about maybe how they're performing or who they're working with or what they're doing, or there's something that they're very low energy and they're just not all that happy about what they're doing. And I want to share with you, there's a book that is called Primal Leadership. And in this book, it talks about the fact that we feed off of external sources. And so we know that, like when we go to a sporting event and say there's thousands of people that are watching the same football game, and we always say that there's a lot of energy in the air. And that's a way to think about really what we do as leaders and the opportunity that we have when we go in and we begin to interact with our team during the day. It's the same thing. The people around us on our team feed off of the same energy level that we currently have. Now, in this book, and again, I highly recommend you read Primal Leadership. It's such a phenomenal read. It takes a look at leadership in a really a different perspective. It's almost a scientific approach to the effects that we have on people as leaders. But there's an interview experiment that takes place, and just briefly what this interview is, they measure somebody's heart rate and blood pressure and things like that prior to beginning an interview. Then they bring somebody in, and these people have, they're going to conduct these interviews. There are obviously different extremes. Some of them are very high energy, very animated, they smile, and they wanted to measure the physical changes that take place, not just externally, but internally, what changes took place in this person as they begin to interact over the next 15-20 minutes in this interview with this other person. And what they noticed is across the board, every time somebody would come in and sit down, it would take about 10 to 15 minutes, but the person being interviewed, they would physically begin to change and mirror that other person, not just in, like I said, in external ways, but also in their heart rate, blood pressure, and things like that. So it's a phenomenal idea about the impact that we have as leaders, with our team members. And so knowing that, we have a huge opportunity to impact our performance. So we determine the level of energy on our team. And so if you're somebody who is very high energy, you probably already know this and you're probably already seeing that on your team. But if you're somebody who's a little more laid back and conservative, then you may notice that the same thing is taking effect. Now, on one hand, your team is more calm and the stress level is probably pretty low. But there are times when you obviously need to have a higher energy level as a team as well. So we have to affect how our team members feel about work, and we do that in a variety of different ways. But we ultimately will determine as leaders if our team members will stay or go. And we know that through the many exit interviews and surveys that have been done, the number one reason why team members leave an organization is because of the person they directly worked for. And so, again, a huge opportunity for us once we know this to take advantage of this. And so we can start to impact how our people feel during the day. So, one of the things you can do is smile. That's one of the most powerful things in this book that they talk about is the effect of one person smiling and the effects it has on somebody else. We can also create a positive environment in the things we do. And so we can share positive words. If you have a morning meeting, for example, always make it very positive and high energy. You can also do things during the day like emails where you're very supportive and positive about things that maybe somebody did the day before. And so make that part of your routine as you come in during the day to say, hey, I'm going to acknowledge a few people. And you have to be careful how you do this. It has to be sincere, obviously, but you want to start to share positive, supportive things out there on your team. The last thing I want to share with you is just be what you want to see. If what your team does, it really requires a lot of energy and enthusiasm, that's what you got to be. You have to be what you want your team members to be. If you're in a very high stress situation team where I don't know, maybe customer complaints is what you handle, well then you don't necessarily want to be very energetic, but you may want to be very calming and make sure that your team members are kind of picking up on that and to reduce the stress level. So that's really it this week. Again, I want to encourage you to read that book. It is really it's a much different approach to leadership and learning what we do as leaders and how we affect the team members that we have. So I want to encourage you to do that. I also want to encourage you to join our premium coaching program if you haven't done so already, where we will go through a lot of different things over the course of about 4 months, where each week we will send you an email, actually a couple, and we will share videos and articles and different things, and we focus on just one skill each week, and it builds over time. So over the course of 4 months and 5 months through our webinars and our short videos and things like that, you're building just a phenomenal base of understanding of how to be an effective leader. Things like motivation, delegation, how to conduct effective team meetings. So go to our website if you're not already there and sign up for our premium coaching program. And I want to thank you for your time. I hope you have a phenomenal week. Share this with anybody you think would enjoy it, and I will talk to you again soon.